Hi folks, this is Tech Coach Adams. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create an assignment in Google Classroom with an attached Google Doc in it so that when students are working on it, you'll be able to see live what they're doing as well as provide feedback ongoing while they work on it. Okay, so to start with, we're in Google Classroom here. If I go into my classwork section, I've got my week 1 and week 2 topics created here. So I want to create an assignment. So I'm going to start by clicking create and then choosing assignment. From here I can include the assignment details. Okay, so I am going to call this assignment, What Did You Do Yesterday? 2 Truths and a Lie. Instructions are optional, but you could put something in here like open the attached doc and follow the instructions. Now, I don't have any attached document here right now, so I have 2 options. I can add, and if I've already created a document that I want to attach, I can choose Google Drive and bring up my documents that are in my Google Drive and attach any of them. I can also attach a website link, file from my computer, or a YouTube video. But in this case, because I haven't already created a document, I can click the Create button. This allows me to create a new Google Doc, Google Slide, Google Sheets document, a Google Drawing, or Google Forms, and have it already be attached to this assignment. So I want them to answer this in a doc, so I'm going to choose Docs. It will create a new blank Google Doc right inside, and it'll automatically open that Google Doc in a new tab in my Chrome browser. So I have my Google Classroom assignment still here, waiting for me to finish up the details, but the document that I've just created has now opened up here. Okay? And just like in any Google Doc, I can now give it a name. What did you do yesterday? Now you'll notice in the doc, it's blank right now. I always like to start a document with a title, and sometimes that's all you need to give the students is a title, and then they can fill in the rest. I'm going to put some more in this doc, but I'd like to start with a title. Now in order to do that, first thing I'm going to do is change this from normal text to title. That way the computer knows that what I'm typing is a title. Me personally, I like my title centered, so I am going to center that line. And the handy thing about delineating this line as a title is that when I hit enter to go down to a new line, it automatically sets it back to normal text so that I can now start typing and it's no longer typing as in the font and the size that I chose for my title. Now I can give them the prompt that I want them to write about. I'm also going to change the font here because I want their writing to look different than my instructions. So I'm going to change this to a heading. So my students now know what they want to write about or what I want them to write about, but what they don't see right now is where to do that writing. So to start with, I'm going to hit enter again, which will automatically bring me back to normal text. Okay. Now when it comes to the students actually putting in their answers, I like to insert a box. Now to put a box, it's actually a table. I'm going to click insert up here in the top menu. I'm going to choose table. And I'm going to put a 1x1 table in, which will just put in one box. Okay, I'm going to give this, hit enter a few times here to give it a little bit extra space, enough space for them to type their paragraph, and bring the cursor back up. Now you'll notice that this is set to normal text. So when my student starts typing in this box, their text will look different than my title and my question. And it'll be in the box so they can tell the difference between my instructions and their writing. Okay? To make this even more obvious to them, sometimes what I'll do is I will change the background color of the page. So to do that, I choose File, and then go down here to almost the bottom to where it says Page Setup. One of the things in Page Setup that I can change is the page color. So if I change the page to maybe a light cornflower blue 3, sounds nice. hit OK. So now, as you can see, the entire page has turned blue. To make it stand out where I want the students to input their answer, I can change the inside of just the box where they are to put their answer. I can do this by right-clicking on the inside of my table, where I get all these table options: insert a row or column, delete the table. What I want to go is to this table properties. Inside the table properties, I can change all kinds of things. One of them, the background color. Currently, the background color is set to none, so whatever color the background of my paper is the same color you'll see in the table. If I change that to white, then the students can see exactly where I want them to type, because the rest of the page is blue and the box is white. I could also do the opposite, where I leave the page white and I can make the input box blue or yellow or whatever. So now my document is ready to be given to the students for them to put their answers in. So for that, I'm going to go back to my Google Classroom. This document is still attached. It is still called Untitled Document, even though I changed the name to What Did You Do Yesterday? But that's okay, because once I post this assignment, that will automatically refresh and it'll pick up the new name. Now, the biggest thing that you need to do here, the most important thing, is to change this. Right now, this document is set so that students can only view it. I want them to be able to actually type in it and type their answer. So I've got two other options besides students can view. Students can edit and make a copy for each student. Students can edit. I wouldn't suggest using this with a whole class, because instead of giving students editing rights to their copy, you are giving the entire class one document and giving them all editing rights on the same one. So in this particular assignment, that would not be a good idea, because I want each student to write their own paragraph, not be editing one giant class size paragraph. So the third option is going to be your best bet. Make a copy for each student. This will turn my original document into a template and make a copy for each individual student. It'll change the name of that document to that student's name, and then a hyphen, and then the name of the document. So you don't even have to worry about students forgetting to put their name on their document. Once that's done, I can set up whatever I want as far as the details of the assignment. Now, if I'm ready to assign this, I can just click Assign, but I also have other options. I can schedule it, which means I could pick the date and time where it would go live and be visible by the students. I can save it as a draft, which means it would be visible to me, but not to the students. This is handy if I want to save it for later, but I don't know the exact date and time that I want it to be out. I just want to have it ready to go. I can save it as a draft, and it's only visible to me and not the students until I come back in and click Assign. But I'm ready to go, so I'm going to click Assign. Once I do that, it'll show up in the classwork section for the students, and it'll be ready for them to work on. So there it is. It's ready to go. From the student perspective, when they go into Google Classroom and they go to the classwork section, they will see the assignment that I made in week 1 called What Did You Do Yesterday? If they click it, they will see it, and you can see the name of the student. The name of my student is Student 1. So this name of the student is there, as well as the name of the document that I made. Okay, my instructions are here. Open the doc and follow the instructions. Okay, so all they need to do is click on that document, and it opens it again on a tab. But they still have Google Classroom open in one tab. The document is now opened in a new tab. And it's exactly as it was when I assigned it. By assigning the document to Google Classroom, both student and teacher can interact with that shared document at the same time. As the student is working on it, the teacher, from their point of view, can go into the assignment by clicking View Assignment, and there they'll see all of the students' documents that are attached to their assignments. When they click on any one of those documents, they'll be brought into the live document that is shared between them and the student. And if the student happens to be working on it at that particular time, they'll be able to see keystroke by keystroke as the student is working on it. If the teacher sees errors that they want to point out to the student, they can highlight the word and then use the comment button up in the top. It looks like a little speech bubble with a plus in it, and they can make a comment that is tagged to that word that they highlighted. Once they've typed their comment, they just click the comment button. From the student perspective, that comment will pop up on their screen right after the teacher has clicked the button. They can read it, they can address whatever issues are pointed out, and then they can hit the button that says resolve to make that comment go away. Teachers can also provide feedback on larger sections of text by highlighting sentences, paragraphs, whatever they want to draw attention to. There's also a comment button down lower on when something's been highlighted. They can again type their comment in the box, giving the feedback that they want to provide the student, and when they're done, they can just click the comment button. The student will once again see the comment appear on their screen, as well as what the comment is pertaining to will be highlighted. They can read that comment, address that issue, and along with the resolve button, the student also has the ability to reply to a comment made by a teacher if they want to generate a dialogue. So if they have questions or comments about the feedback, they can reply by typing in the box and then hitting the reply button. That reply would show up on the teacher's screen, and then they could reply back, and therefore creating a dialogue with the student and ongoing feedback throughout the writing process. Now, if teachers or students want to see comments that have been previously resolved, it might be hard for them to find them. So what they need to do is they need to click the comment history button, which is located in the top right-hand corner of the screen. It again looks like a speech bubble, but this time with lines in it. When they click that, they'll see a thread of all of the comments and replies that have been made throughout the history of this document between anyone that it's been shared with. Once the student has finished the assignment using any of the feedback provided by the teacher and they're ready to submit it, they can do that by clicking the Turn In button right inside the document. By clicking Turn In, the student will be automatically redirected back to Google Classroom into the assignment that they were working on. There'll be a double check screen which will ask them to make sure that they've attached all the things they want to attach, or they can then click Turn In again if everything looks good. Once they've done that, ownership of the document will switch to the teacher instead of the student. If the student wants editing rights back, they will need to click Unsubmit under the name of the document. Once students have started submitting assignments, the teacher will be able to see the number of students that have handed in versus still have it assigned to them. They can, in this screen, click on student names and actually give some summative feedback if they would like. At the bottom where there's a spot for a comment box, they can type summative feedback in that box and then use the little arrow to send that feedback to the students. Once assessment and feedback have been completed, the teacher can return the assignment to the student by putting a check in the box beside their name and then clicking the Return button at the top of the page. This will ask again if you're sure, and then you can click Return. This will send the document back to the students and give them editing rights back. So if they want to make any changes, they will be able to do so. Also, they will be able to see the feedback that teachers have given them at the bottom. When they look in their Google Classroom and see that the assignment's been returned, they can click the View Assignment button, come into the assignment, and see that it's now been returned and see the summative assessment or feedback that the teacher gave. They can also post a reply to that and continue that dialogue of ongoing learning with their teacher. If the feedback from the teacher has asked them to resubmit, they can click the document to go back in and make their changes, and then click the Resubmit button to send it back to the teacher for further feedback and assessment. So that is how teachers can use Google Classroom to provide ongoing assessment and feedback for their students. Thanks for watching.